Welcome or welcome back to Behind the Purple Door. My name is Izzy and I will be your host for today. And today I've got a really nice one for you coming. We're going to talk about my plans for my summer capsule wardrobe. And I can tell you, it looks like a color palette exploded into my yarn stash. We're going to talk about my hunt for the perfect t shirt pattern and the rubble hole. I've been down with a lot of vintage summer knits, or maybe there are more autumn knits. We will see. But I'm really excited to have you here with me today. I was trying to film that video already yesterday, and yesterday it was nice and sunny out, and I had a cold brew, and I was like, yeah, let's have a sip of cold brew. And now we're gonna have a sip of tea because it's raining, it's dreary, and it's cold. And as I said, we're gonna have a lot of things to talk about, so we're gonna go right in. So I'm not gonna keep you too long because we all have busy days, don't we? As always, the trusty iPad, so I don't forget anything I want to talk about. And the first thing I want to talk about actually is Betty's top, or the sweater. Well, it doesn't have sleeves, so is it a sweater? The top Betty is wearing. It is a UFO I just dug out the other day, and I thought I really have to finish that one. And there's a little story to this. So this is part of a vintage two-piece set. They were kind of popular in the 50s. I have a lot of patterns where they have a sweater and a matching skirt with it. And I really want to knit the skirt as well, but I've started with the sweater first. The yarn I used is Lang Yavol sock yarn in a nougaty color. And what is missing is like a bias tape, or like it looks like a button band that you knit around the front, the both front pieces, and then they go around the neck, and the same goes around the sleeves. They're, according to the pattern, they're like 5 to 6 centimeters wide, and that's kind of it with the explanation. They're knitting it on the bias, so you kind of you knit and then you decrease and increase, so it's kind of a diagonal shape. One, I'm on the fence if I really want to go through that hassle or if I just want to knit it straight, so it's more potato chippy knitting. But the biggest problem is the color for the contrast button band, if you want to call it that, because I told you in the spring video that I want to make a brioche cardigan, this burnt orange that I have pinned to the shoulder, but which I'm not sure you can see. So I will insert a picture in case the frame is out. So I wanted to do this brioche cardigan, and it's just not working. I love the fabric it gives me, but the yarn keeps on snagging because it's really tight on the machine, and I'm not going to knit a brioche cardigan by hand, let's be real. So this is kind of the naughty corner, and now I'm on the fence if I really want to do the orange color, as I'm not having the cardigan to go with it. And the brown kind of works with most of the yarn I have in my color palette, so I'm going to need your guys' help. Help me pick a color for the color. A color, well, you know what I mean. Which colorway should I use for the thing around the neck? So yeah, please leave a comment down below telling me which color you would prefer. I really need your help. So this is the first work in progress, and as we're already in work in progress, I guess you can, and you can, so I guess as we're already moving into works in progress, it's obvious I do not have a finished object this week, as I think I forgot to mention that. Moving on to my second work in progress, this is my lace cardigan. I'm already in love. I finished the first sleeve yesterday, and I have to knit one more sleeve. So what has happened since the last episode? The yarn is 90% merino, 10% cashmere. Like, I had a big cone from Woolly Yarns. And just so I'm not repeating myself over and over, all the yarn I'm going to show you is Woolly Yarn cones. So what did I knit? I knit a front piece. We have a back piece and another front piece, and I've already sewn them together. The next step is to sew them together in the shoulder seams, and then I can insert the sleeves. And I have to knit the second sleeve. The cardigan is designed to be worn with 2 to 3 centimeters of negative ease around the waist and 1 to 2 on the bust, which is not that important in the end of the day because it's not going to be buttoned up. But it's supposed to be like really hitting me on the waist and a snug fit. I just love the color. I don't know if you can really see it in the camera, but it's this purpley blue. It's just beautiful, and it's so soft, so squishy. But why is it called the lace cardigan? Because and I somehow lost the lace. I'm knitting a lace on the machine. So if you can't see the details, I will check later, then there will be a picture here. This is pass up standard pattern to be knit on the machine. So you have two border stitches, but they just fold inwards without you having to do anything. And it looks a little bit like a flower, I want to say. And that is supposed to go around all the edges. Yeah, and that is just, I can already imagine it, and I think it looks really beautiful. So I'm going to have a picture here for you to see clearer, and I hope next time I'm going to have a finished cardigan because I'm really excited. The other project I'm really excited about is my next and last work in progress. It's the Roku raglan by Sari Nordlund. We're talking about that for the third time, and I hope for the last time. I made quite some progress since we talked last. The body is finished, and even the hem is sewn down, which usually I kind of wait for the last minute to do because I really hate that work. And I've knit the I-cord edging for the neck, which looks beautiful. I really love an I-cord edge around the neckline. It just looks so much more, I don't know, ready to wear, beautifully made instead of one by one whip. I don't know. Yeah, but that is just beautiful. And now I have to do like, I want to say 10 rows of lace for the sleeves and bind them off. And I think they're on I-cord too, probably. So yeah, that is hopefully also done by the next time we're speaking. So this has been my works in progress, and now we're going to move on to acquisitions, because we opened the box of Pandora. Ever since I gave myself the permission to buy yarn again, it's been like, I need yarn, I need yarn, I need yarn. So I did place another order with Willy Yarn. And funny enough, I found a video the other day and now I have to check for her name, the Sorbello edit. And she gave an explanation about how dopamine works, that dopamine is not actually when you get something like a reward thing, but it's more the anticipation of having something. So whenever you're buying yarn, or in her case, fabric, you're thinking about what you want to make with it, how amazing that will be, and that kind of gives you a dopamine kick. And so it's not actually me buying the yarn, it's my brain. But at the end of the day, I just got new yarn, and I really like that, science fun fact, and I wanted to share that with you. So what did I get? I only bought three yarns. I have this really nice lavender yarn. All three of them are the 90% merino, 10% cashmere. And this is going to be a top I will show you in the plans in a second. I have the same in this beautiful poppy red. It's just really beautiful. I know they don't scream summer, but there are those summer nights when it's a bit more colder where I imagine you could wear them, and then they're just going to move into autumn. Or if I'm really quick, there's still Spring Capsule. I mean, we're having March. If I'm really fast and I have one of them finished by April, it's technically still a spring piece. And then I did something crazy. So I just showed you my cardigan, and I told you the last time that I really love the yarn and the color, and they still had like 3 kilograms left. And I would, nothing changed ever since I bought yarn 4 weeks ago. But in my brain, it was like, oh my God, what if it's gone? What if it's gone? So I placed an insane order of another 1,200 grams. So now I have like 5 or 6 kilometers of this yarn. It's beautiful yarn, and I plan to do a capsule on its own for autumn, just with this colorway and work around it. So that I think is going to be really interesting. I just had to have the yarn. Don't judge me. Okay, so that was kind of what has been currently happening. And now we're moving into the summer capsule. The summer capsule. So I'm going to have somewhere in the frame, I'm going to have a picture of my color palette. And if I had to describe it, I just don't know how I would describe it. It's just all really bright colors. And it gives me the feeling of sitting in Tuscany, sitting on the beach. And it's not Tuscany, but sitting in Italy on the beach, or sitting in the Tuscany in one of those vineyards and sipping on a coffee with all those really nice colors and feeling summer. Or maybe it is even more the beach and having the water there and all the bright flowers and stuff, and just feeling the warmth. That is what this color palette gives me. It just gives me so much joy. So moving into plans. Not all of them are concrete plans yet. I've been swatching quite a bit and I'm still undecided on a few of the pieces. But prioritizing first, I'm going to knit 2 merino pieces that could technically still work in spring and are more for the colder days. One of them is this beautiful buttery yellow yarn swatch. I will always, I think, put an inspiration picture if I have one and a picture of the swatch so you can see more in detail what I have here. So this yarn is Deep Stash, also from Woolly Yarn, and I think it's something like 60% merino, and then it's a cashmere silk blend for the rest of the 40%. And this knit up beautifully. I knit the swatch by hand on a 3mm needle. And just to give you perspective on that, I'm a really, really loose knitter. I haven't done the gauge swatch, but from what it looks, it's like a 26 gauge on 10 centimeters. So a lot of people would probably need bigger needles for that. But I'm just really, really loose knitting. And 26 stitches, 28 stitches is kind of my comfort zone for a nice sweater. So what is the plan for this? And to tell you about the plan, I need to show you another sewing finished object. This is, I will have a picture here. This is a mesh skirt, and I don't think it's going to look like much on the camera. But this is a basic skirt, just a rectangular piece of fabric, 85 centimeters long, I want to say, 140 wide, and I just seamed up the side seams and added an elastic. It's not hemmed because I don't like the look of mesh hemmed. And I've been wearing it here in that picture with my set-in shoulder basic sweater in cream, and that is really nice because I can't wear anything that is a little bit longer because I cannot tuck anything in because it's so sheer and see-through. But that's obviously not really spring or summer appropriate. So this is going to be my basic t-shirt, which is kind of also getting me into the topic for the basic t-shirt. So what does a basic t-shirt mean? I'm looking for a knitting pattern that just gives me the perfect fit. I want it to be tailored in the sleeves, in the shoulders. As I already mentioned, I have narrow shoulders. I want to have a really nice structured sleeve cap, and this is actually too much fabric. This is really bugging me and annoying me. So I'm really looking forward to constructing the perfect sleeve cap. And there are 3 different ways I want to try. I've been seeing more and more people talking about the continuous set-in sleeve. It's kind of constructed like a raglan, but a bit different. So you're casting on for the back. Then you have only 1 or 2 sleeve stitches and a little bit for the front. And then you work back and forth until you have enough for your neck. And then you go change to knitting in the round. And you're working your set-in sleeve at the same time, which I think is a brilliant idea, because knitting a set-in sleeve, if you don't like knitting in pieces or knitting flat like I do, you prefer working in the round, seems like amazing, because I think the set-in sleeve, at least for me personally, is the best fit. I also like a raglan, but yoke sleeves just, I don't know, just not giving me the same vibe as a really nice set-in sleeve. So I'm going to try the continuous set-in sleeve method for this t-shirt. And then I'm going to knit 2 more t-shirts, and I want to try a tailored sleeve. So what do I mean by that? As I've already told you, I'm coming from sewing, and what I used to do is draw my own sewing patterns, and I have basic blocks that are my measurements put onto paper. And there is a tailored sleeve for knitting fabric that looks different than all the other sleeves I've seen. I usually knit vintage style sleeves the way Sydney from Squid School designs them, and they're rather long in the amount of rows that you knit, and you just decrease continuously, and that just gives you a certain shape. And the tailored sleeve has a different shape. It's not as many rows, but it stays wide, so you're not knitting as many decreases as you would with a standard sleeve. So I want to try the tailored sleeve, and I want to try the basic vintage sleeve inspired by Sydney from Squid School. So I want to try these 3. And if you have more ideas on sleeves that you personally think fit perfectly, please shoot them my way and I will try them on the hunt for the perfect t-shirt. So that is the plan. The satin sleeve with the tailored sleeve will probably be my blue silk yarn. This is that one that I already showed you last week or last episode. And the third one will probably mercerized cotton. So mercerized cotton is not really giving you any bounce back. It's really sturdy. So I have to see how I want to knit that. Probably I'm going to knit this one by machine and the other 2 by hand. Because also I'm not going to knit everything by hand because I have too many plats for that. As always. So yeah, those are the 3 t-shirts I want to knit with the technique. And I'm really excited to see which type of sleeve fits best. Moving on. I have another t-shirt or shirt. It's a vintage knitting pattern. I will have a picture here with this beautiful colorwork detail. So knitting colorwork flat is not something I really enjoy. So I'm trying different ways to knit these flat and have them still look crisp. Because usually the last few times I've knit colorwork flat, it was just gapey in places. And I tried different ways, but it never really worked tension-wise. What I tried with this swatch, and I'm actually really happy, is I knitted as you would knit colorwork for the right side. And for the wrong side, I knit the colorwork contrast color stitches first, slipped the other stitches, and then slipped everything back onto the non-working needle and then knit the background color stitches. So that kind of gave me a really nice effect. I know it sounds like a lot of work slipping them back and forth, but I don't really see a way around it with this pattern as it's around the neckline. And I'm still debating whether or not to make it that deep of a neckline or maybe just take 2 or 3 flowers and raise the neckline and have less color work. We will see. Let me know what you would like or what you would do. I mean, the deep V is really nice. It's a really statement piece, but I don't know if I would feel that comfortable with. On the other side, the lavender color is not really in my color palette, so I should not really wear it close to my face. So the deep V would actually be really helpful. We will see. And yeah, other than that, I did a lot of swatches trying to figure out what I want to do. I have this beautiful swatch in a merino alpaca cashmere blend. As always, information will be down below. That is with this diamond shape, and it's just worked with purl and knit stitches, which is beautiful. And I tried working it with a cotton, but you just don't really see it in the cotton yarn, which is driving me crazy because I wanted a special piece in that cotton yarn, but it's just not showing the pattern beautifully. And I don't want to knit another non-summer yarn sweater for the summer capsule because I just could not wear it. So that might be an autumn plan, unfortunately. And then I have this white yarn. This is also cotton silk, like all the cotton silk blends I have from Woolly Yarn. I got that a year or 2 ago. It is really crisp white, which is also not really my cup of tea. But speaking of a cup of tea, pun unintended, but really nice bridge like that. Speaking of tea, I think of dyeing the swatch with some black tea and get it into a more cream color. And if that works, that would be really beautiful. But I'm not sure, as cotton and silk take dye differently. But it might be worth the experiment. So, have a look on the shorts I will put out soon, because I think I'm going to try and tell you in a short about the experience. So this might end up in the capsule or it might not end up in the capsule. And this is the other red mercerized cotton that I already told you I want to make a t-shirt with. And I have this really nice lace pattern, which funny enough is the same lace pattern as I have for the border of the blue jacket, just knit in a piece instead of on its own. And I really like that too. It just looks really neat, and the mercerized cotton looks really beautiful knit in the machine. It's just giving a better and cleaner looking stitch definition or stitch visualization. So I think I'm going to knit that one on the machine and the other 2 by hand. So yeah, those are my plans in terms of knitting. Did quite some swatching and I really liked it. I wasn't the person to knit swatches before, but I really found that I love swatches. So now that we're done with the knitting part, I have a bit of a sewing plan. And I'm already wearing the centerpiece basically of my summer wardrobe. I have a picture here. I don't know if I already told you that. Because I already did this video 2 or 3 times, so sorry if I forgot that. But this skirt is Atelier Brunette gingham fabric that I got last year in this matcha cream colorway. And for unbeknownst reasons to me, because I'm not really good in color theory and anything, it works with the whole color palette. It just works with so much of the things I have to wear. It's just beautiful. And I love this skirt. It's also just like the mesh skirt, a rectangular, a little bit less fabric, that I sewed together on the back seam, French seamed it, added a waistband, added the elastic, and Bob's your uncle. The only thing I would do differently the next time, so I have an 82, 83 centimeter waist and 110 centimeters hip. And the fabric I chose to cut at 130 centimeters. 130, 120 centimeters. So it's giving me 10 to 20 centimeters ease around the hips, which I need, but not more because my waist is only 80 centimeters and I don't want too much fabric bulking up around my tummy. So I like the shape and the fit and everything. The only disadvantage is with the length of 85 centimeters, it's just hitting me mid-calf. And it's just not enough room to make big steps. I haven't really thought about that. And then I wore it to work on Wednesday and I tried to walk. I was like, always, hitting my skirt and pulling it, which is not ideal. And the other sewing project is basically a mending project. The same fabric, just in red. I made this beautiful skirt last year. It has pockets because we love a good pocket. It's A-line shaped. It has a zipper in the back, and I used the smaller gingham that is on the inside of this fabric too for the waistband. And I really like the look, but it's far too wide as I lost a considerable amount of weight because this was just not the smartest idea, sewing a fitted skirt 3 months after giving birth. So I want to take that in. I have to check if I'm just going to do that on the zipper on the back or if I do something with the pockets. I will take it apart, take away the waistband and take out the zipper and then sew it back together, but it should still be a fairly quick sewing project. Just not the biggest fan of mending things. But speaking of mending, I will also mend 1 or 2 dresses from last year that are now also too wide. But other than that, I don't think I will take on any sewing projects. I will talk about that more with the next video when we analyze the spring capsule. But the sewing motor just hasn't really returned and I have to make myself sit in front of the sewing machine and that's just not much fun. So I will probably still wear the pants I have. I have 2 pairs of shorts. I will have pictures for you here of the shorts and I bought another blue skirt that is supposed to be here in a few days. And I think that's just gonna be it for the bottom pieces and then I'm just gonna mix and match everything. I mean, that's the idea of a capsule, right? To not have a million pieces. And I already have a lot of things I want to knit. I'm not sure I'm gonna make it through it all. But I've been really good at finishing things ever since I started this YouTube channel. So you guys really helped me hunker down and finish things because I want to be able to say I have a finished object. So, well, let's have a look at the notes. But I think I'm actually good. So that's everything I wanted to talk about for this week. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. Come back for more. I have a lot of other things that I have planned. I have a lot of ideas and I would really like to share them with you. Get your input, get into contact with you or get a connection and really talk to someone about all these plans because my husband is really tired of listening to me. So thank you so much for your time. I hope you enjoyed and I hope I will see you next time. Yes, bye.